Hello guys and welcome to the final of the UK Nationals. I am Ben and I'm joined by Liam. Hi Liam.
Hello.
So this is between Ryan on the right and I want to say Kristian on the left. Really should have written that down.
Yeah.
So we had a nice...
Kristian.
Great, it was Kristian. So as you saw there, we had a nice little setup with the that you'd done yourself so everyone could watch.
Yeah, I feel like all it needed was a couple of scented candles and a little bit of smooth jazz, and the scene would have been completely set. But I figured it needed a bit of surrounding as opposed to the massive long lines that everyone had been playing on all day.
Oh, and also unlike the Netrunner final where people were standing on chairs around the table and.
Yes, that was a little bit mental.
So Ryan is playing his Stark Fealty, which is dirty and has lots of big characters, against Kristian's Lanni Fealty. Funny enough, you didn't normally see that.
Yeah, I think he was running a variation of the old Leaping Lions.
Yes, yeah, it's something similar. It's only his second big tournament as well, so he's done pretty well to make the final.
Yeah, and especially with the event itself, because it was an immensely long day. I mean, these guys were registering at 9 this morning.
I know Ryan got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I picked him up.
So at this point, it's FFG styles. I mean, I suppose the only downside for this weekend was the fact it was all in one day, so it was just a sheer test of mental and physical endurance. I mean, this game started just after 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I think it was just after 9 because I remember telling my wife I'd be leaving at 10. So just quickly, we've got first plots and we have Calm into Noble Cause with Ryan getting the Calm. Guess we should also just point out, Ryan's got I've got his name now.
Winterfell Steward, Bran, Syrio, and the Reducer.
That's the one against Tyrion and the Hound. So I'm imagining Ryan. Actually, I want to say Ryan goes Intrigue here. I think, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so what we got? We got we got the Western Fiefdoms. Yeah, also say there's a bit of pressure on Ryan here because obviously he came second on Blackwater. He'd always makes the cut regionals and then ends up losing.
Yeah, he's always the bridesmaid. Oh, dirty Tyrion. Straight out the bat, there it is.
Not a bad start, and sitting on 1 gold. I would say, and this is not really a spoiler, but I would say probably they're waiting on Tyrion Tyrion's trigger, but Kristian forgot it quite a few times through the game.
Yeah, and it's usually because I'm involved in a lot of other systems. The big one as well is X-Wing, where they do all of theirs in one day, so it's 16, 17-hour days. And the final is usually filled with lots of small mistakes that these players wouldn't really make during the day, mainly because these guys have pretty much been playing Thrones for about 12 hours straight now.
And Ryan looked absolutely dead on his feet after the last game.
Yeah, right. I think all of Ryan's top cut games pretty much went to time. And he was like, please can I have a break? Please can I have a break? And I felt really bad going, no, sit down next game. You will keep going, son.
So we've also had a King's Road and Fealty Pop to get Catelyn in. That's always a good card against Lannister.
Yeah, that ability to shut out on those challenges will really help.
Oh, and Fast Eddie. So pretty good start there from Ryan, actually. Yeah. Both had a pretty good start.
Any pre-challenge options?
But yeah, this is my first sort of season of card games, and I've done Blood Bowl and Flames War and other games. Ooh, never bet against my family. Let's show the Leaping Lions. And Blood Bowl being kind of over 2 days normally. That is just, I mean, it's a long weekend. It's a weekend away from the family, but the stress level's a lot lower. And the Mountain is into play. From never bet against my family. Do you remember when everyone slated that card?
Yes, and then Leaping Lions came and everyone raved about it.
Stealth in the military from Syria? Stealth on here, yeah.
For about 2 months, and then it disappeared again, but yeah. I think then basically Miri came out and everyone went, you know what? Dragon's actually a really good banner. Unfortunately.
Yeah, who needs Leaping Lions when you've got Miri?
Yeah. So I think Ryan has just put stealth and the military icon on Catelyn, which is I think assumed to just try and stop any intrigue triggers from her being stealth through.
So
That's it.
stealthing thing.
Unfortunately, I had to have the volume on quite low, otherwise the second recording picks it up, and that's a pain in the backside to edit. So sorry guys if I do ever do miss a one or two, get confused once or twice.
Yeah, I imagine that stealth onto Catelyn would be to stop the mountain from coming off.
Oh, that could be, might be the mountain this turn, thinking that he's I think that was an intrigue actually, because he went to pick up the gold, and then Ryan said, I think you missed your trigger because you're already taking the unopposed power.
Tears of Lease. Sure.
And we got a Tears of Lease, slightly out of order here. But Bran is dead.
Did I say intrigue?
Or was Bran sacked? Oh no, I think Bran was sacked.
No, Bran was sacked to stop that.
That's the one thing with Stark is they just have all the counters. You know, you got Catelyn, you got Winterfell, you got Bran.
And Lannister don't.
No, they're all the counters to Lannister. Lannister did all the hateful stuff, and then Stark just come along and go, no.
Nope.
Just no. Yeah, sorry, Computer says no. Or Winterfell says no, we should say. Yeah. And Shin's coming in the mountain, coming from military. It is one of the things that does amaze me, and I know mistakes, and it's been a 12-hour day, but when you consider watching Thrones finals, people really take their time, really think about it, and yet the fatigue still means they come in and make mistakes.
Yeah, I think as well. So standard timings are 55 minutes for all the games. However, when you go to the final, you have longer. So previous years you used to have untimed finals, but this the final for this was 2 hours, which is still an awful long time. However, you tend to find that when you're tired, you're overthinking a lot of different elements. And your decision making, and with that you'll just forget some of the simple things from time to time.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we've got Catelyn coming in to block the mountain, as you said.
Okay.
Woodford Stewart's taken his claim, and the pillage.
Poor Winterfell stewards.
That's what he's there for.
You can't get into the channel.
And I think that was Rob, and he went to go and kill.
Yep, Eddie, and then he was like, nope, Caitlin. Caitlin says no.
And that's the thing. It was the final at Reading, where on the first or second turn, the mountain just came in and just killed all the important characters in one military action. And it's such a depressing thing.
It's one of those ones. The pillage off the top. It doesn't hit that often, but it's always memorable when it does hit.
Yeah, I think the first time I ever used the mountain, I killed old Eddie, which just crippled the game. So we've got stealth here from Syrio and fast Eddie, and I think who's he stealthing? Ryan, as always, doing the maths, double checking the maths, triple checking the maths. I think he's stealthing the hound. So yeah, Tyrant blocks, which isn't enough, I want to say at the moment. There's no gold, and the mountain's taken his claim. Now, I remember at the time I thought that was interesting, although he had no chud to die, because I think he runs quite a few copies of the mountain, and he's a character you're going to want to see again in this matchup.
Yeah, I suppose looking at that, does he want to? It's probably going to be between him and the Hound. I think he's looking here at board presence. The mountain's going to get discarded regardless. So do you want to be left with 2 characters on the boards with the potential marched, dropping you down to 1, or do you want to drop the mountain and then go to the rest of Lanni's big pool of tools at their disposal?
Because I suppose it doesn't help that he doesn't know that Ryan doesn't play much, because this is a deck to get all the big guys out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So that's into turn 1, and it's 2-all on power. So it's obviously, having run nationals now, would you do it again next year?
Yes, I would. I think I was absolutely exhausted. I was there for the whole weekend. I was running the Conquest on the Saturday with a couple of others, and then the cut on the Saturday, and then the Thrones. I think I slept most of Monday. But no, it was a fantastic experience. Good thing about being a TO, you can't lose.
Yeah,
Unless tome breaks, which it actually did on the Sunday, which was the bane of my life for about an hour.
Yes, after going into round 2, and unfortunately for Ryan, was instead of marching orders into naval, which I think for almost any other deck other than Ryan's would be absolutely disastrous, because that'd be the big plot gone. But Ryan does have more than one.
Pretty sure he runs 2. Does he run 2 copies in that?
He does run 2 copies of marching orders, which I love, because it's one of those cards you never see. We just tried having Littlefinger played using a Lannister reducer. As we said, tiredness is definitely a factor at this point. But I mean, yeah, I'd say, Steph, I don't want to blow smoke up your ass, but you did a pretty damn good job.
Sorry about that.
Thank you. That's one of these. The main bit is going smoothly. A lot of the issues with running tournaments is all the prep, and Estevium did a good job. There's some stuff to take away for next year, in terms of just the timing situation. So we spread it across 2 days. I think we'll make it a bit better. But no, I thought it went pretty well.
So, can you see what you just played there? What location was it? Was that the street or something?
I think so.
That's probably whichever one gets to the events. I can't remember which one that is. But yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out in a sec. I think there's Sirio giving Caitlin the stealth and military icon again.
But yeah, so having run tournaments for other systems myself, right, it's just about having the prep set sorted. As long as the prep's good, then you're as long as you're organised enough, then tournaments, especially with people who know what they're doing, tend to run themselves. Maybe not for 106 players, but
to be fair, there were very few problems. A few deck issues aside towards the end, which were easily resolved. Pretty much went off without a hitch, to be fair. Except time. Time is terrible. So the one thing I don't like is having to use time, because it generally causes more problems than it's actually worth. Half the time, it's still in beta with FFG. But yeah, so it broke on us in the day. Having to spend the entire time of round 3 hastily restarting the tournament from scratch, manually re-entering everything, was quite stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So the marshalling was literally just the street of which everyone gives you the events. I want to say it's not Silk, is it? I can't remember.
Street Sisters?
All green.
Was that the power one?
Reaction.
I don't know. Whichever street it is. And then Ryan obviously passed marshalling as he had no gold. And we've got an intrigue coming in.
And Kristian remembered the trigger.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's gone unopposed.
Trigger. What about me?
That's interesting. I thought Ryan would be scared of. I suppose actually the way Ryan's looking at it is if he gets tears, then he's probably going to lose the military anyway, and then he can just kill whatever was taken for military claim. So whatever was taken for tears. I guess that's the theory there.
Yeah, I think whatever it was that Kristian searched for didn't hit anything.
It's normally the events one, because that way if you get another Never Bet Against My Family, you're not looking at the same 5 cards if you miss.
Yeah.
So Intrigue Claim, and it's one of Rob's King Rob's Warhost, which is a shame because that's one of my favourite cards.
It's also one of the pivotal cards in Ryan's deck.
Yes, it was why he plays 2 times Marching Order. And we've got a massive military coming in of 16. Nope, 17. I lie. So yeah, I think that's where Ryan was thinking. If he gets tears, then that character's just going to die anyway.
You can see the math going off here. Trying to work out what it's going to do.
I'm pretty sure Ryan makes a brave choice here, but probably was the right one. So Fast Eddie blocks. Nope, Catelyn blocks.
So is it third? Okay. So,
And
suppose playing into action.
Goes with Caitlin and protects from that put to the sword.
yes. And comes back to hand. Claim is Fast Eddie, which is an incredibly brave move, but probably the right move, because between Syrio and Catelyn they can shut down a lot of the shenanigans.
Yeah, and Ryan's got the goal for getting back out, and I think he remember rightly, I saw him running close calls throughout the day.
Yes, yeah. He has so many important characters that he runs close call. It's also a 5 gold plot, which helps. He can pretty much get any character he wants out of that.
Yeah, I mean the plot choices are ones you don't see a lot of, and it gives him a lot of versatility. So he gives him that ability to make those decisions that a lot of people wouldn't want to make.
Ryan's deck is definitely what I like to call have your cake and eat it deck. Because yeah, he can every turn you can play out some really influential characters. The only real things to play around is marching orders, not being able to put locations down. So was it Ryan did a military which was blocked by the Hound jumping in, and we are now Kristian forgot power on Tywin from winning the military. Oh, forgot the renown, sorry. And Ryan discards 3 cards, which is a King's Road and 2 Tumblestone Knights.
Yeah.
But does he King's? Not King's Guard. Tumblestone.
King's Road.
King's Road, sorry, yeah. Yeah, on to round 3. So it's one of those things where I'm still not sure about Naval sometimes, because although Kristian did stop Ryan from getting anything else out, he also basically didn't get anything out himself that turn. So both board sides have actually kind of been regressed about the same way, about the same amount. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean normally it would. Yeah.
If you've got something like
I suppose it depends. It's one of those hard things, because against Ryan's deck, it's probably not a great one. Whereas most people only run 1 or 2 high costs. So trading noble where they want to get their big guys out. Whereas Ryan's got lots of those high gold plot anyway, so 1 turn of naval doesn't really affect him as much, as we now see by
Yeah, about to say, here comes the second marching orders. Into first snow, so Kristian's probably thinking, I'll play first snow. That'll stop him getting any characters out. And Ryan just goes, nope. I've got another 9 gold.
Here come the big guns.
Ah. Yeah.
So will we see Littlefinger come back out? So we know he's got it in hand. He's got the 5.
You gotta think he's gotta have some sort of character he can jump in if he's playing first snow. So maybe do a Littlefinger to dig if he hasn't got them to dig for some birdmen, maybe.
Yeah, well we know he's got a hound.
Yeah, he's just quite expensive to keep bouncing in.
Yeah.
And because if Ryan doesn't do an intrigue, you can only bring him in twice. I say only bring him in twice. No, once. So you can only bring him once because he hasn't got the gold for a second one. So we've got a loyal card. Ooh, Slint. Now, he's a card I've been experimenting with, and I've not been that impressed with him, if I'm honest. I think Intimidate would be good in Lannister, but he just hasn't quite done the business. Oh, we've got a big character, and here's the other King's Rob's host, which does take up most of Ryan's gold, but totally worth it.
Monstrous card when it's on the air.
Well, it's on a Warpot turn, it's just bonkers. And there's another King's Rob host as Aya's dupe. Oh, so that's all 3 King's Rob's hosts he's seen now. And unfortunately 2 of them in the discard pile. Because that's the really crazy thing, it's a unique character.
Pay 1 gold.
So 1 gold.
Okay. Do you have a response or reaction? Yep.
I didn't quite see what that was for. Oh, Slint, I'm assuming.
Syria?
Yes, I remember this now. So this is pumping Slint. So Slint's now strength 6.
I think Ryan responded with Sirio back into Caitlin there.
Yeah. I don't know if Kristian knows you don't actually have to do Slint at that point. You can do it mid-challenge, which is normally a better option. Because you spent the gold now, and if it doesn't work, then now Ryan knows he needs to oppose it. Whereas if you've got the I may or may not element, you might have to overcommit on the defence. Although right now I'm not 100% sure you'd actually want to kneel anyway.
No, Ryan's got a bit of a scary board coming back at him.
Because you're not going to get enough strength to kneel the warhost unless Ryan really messes up. Aya's probably just claim soak more than anything else at this point. I mean, you might get Sirio down, but so this is a challenge. I'm not sure which one. Well, because it could be any. Because I want to say it looks like it's an intrigue challenge.
Yep.
Yes, because he forgot the gold again, and I think that's critical this turn. And so Ratchet's raid is taken as claim.
Yeah, unfortunately, missing the trigger, missing some of those triggers you're hitting every day. They're the critical bits in finals. It's usually a case of who can make the fewest mistakes.
Yeah. And that's the thing, just missing that, because that 2 gold, that could be that Birdman that comes in now for claim soak. Or it could be that put to the sword on a military turn. On the military, I doubt you better get put to the sword off, but it makes a difference. Or in fact, sorry, it's just 2 strength from Tywin. Oh, talking about conquest though, I never told you I played against the guy who came top of Swiss in the Game of Thrones tournament.
Oh, James.
Really
I think
nice guy.
He was your game one, wasn't he? In the on the recordings.
He was the game one on the recordings, and I played him, I think, game 3 or 4. He was my game 4. Really nice guy.
It's a gorgeous map, that Conquest one.
It's very nice. The big meteor coming towards the Earth with all the guns.
I found myself very jealous because the Conquest Nationals kit was significantly nicer than the Thrones. The Thrones one was severely lacking in places.
Yeah, I quite like the playmat, and the plot was okay. Otherwise,
the playmat was nice. I think Darren today posted a very nice fitting review of the Nationals price kit up on Card Game DB.
I'd say the regional playmat there was far nicer.
Yes, that regional one is very nice.
So I'm assuming this is probably a military challenge because Ryan currently has no power to steal anyway. Yeah, no, it was a lovely. That Wolves one is lovely. And in fact, probably it's actually the worst playmat they've probably done for second edition of the Throne, because even the Night's Watch one and the Store Champ one were quite nice.
I quite like it. I like the art style on it.
No, the Nats playmat is nice. It's very nice, but it's probably the weakest of the 4 they've done for this edition so far.
Oh, I don't know. I'd say it's nicer than the old Winter one.
Oh, the Night's Watch one.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, okay, probably.
The Store Championship one was nice. The regional one is definitely the nicest one of the lot, though, so far.
And I'm not just saying that because I have those 2 playmats and over the Nats one. I didn't want the Nats one anyway. It wasn't as nice.
It does look very nice in person, mate.
Yeah, no, it does. So Sirio blocks the military. Kristian remembers the power this time, and Aya is taking this claim. This, I assume you might as well do the power at this point with Tyrion, because the Rob's host ability works off military, so you might as well send Tyrion in for the power.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to block King's Rob host coming back, so.
So yep, one unopposed power. Yep, none still.
Okay. Yep. Unopposed.
And military stealing, I believe. Yep, 2 power. And getting 1 for unopposed. It's just that's another one of those cards where you looked initially and thought this isn't very good, and then the more you see King's Rob's host in action in Ryan's deck, the more you realise actually it's a really good card.
Especially when you have the ability to just freely bring it out essentially with his plot card choices.
So Hand's Judgment taken there for reserve, which is a very good call because Ryan actually plays no events.
So we're now going into what, plot 4 now, and we're even at 4 apiece.
Yes. Oh, we're in for the long haul. Should also say why we got you on. Obviously, you're now internet famous for your podcast.
Yes, again, not Thrones related.
Yeah, it's fine. A lot of the LCGs have crossover, I find, of player bases. I play most of them, so.
Yeah, so I run I'm one of the 3 hosts for Void Pirates, a lovely little conquest. So ended up making a load of cards and giving them away to people was a bribe to please like us, please listen to our show. There we go. Now we see Close Call for Ryan.
Yeah, Into Famine, which is a card I didn't like at first, but I've used it a few times, and it's actually a really good card. Especially in the current Winter Denial decks we're starting to see.
Me first.
But yeah, no, I'd say I've enjoyed your podcast so far.
Oh, thank you very much. It's I've got to admit it's good fun. My since having our first child, my love for some of the games has slowly diminished, and so it's kind of having that on a project has helped me enjoy the game a bit, and But then going back to this though, I think did Ryan put Fast Eddie back in the?
He did put Fast Eddie back in, and unfortunately couldn't draw a card because Kristian actually played a Winter Plot, so that stops the draw a card effect.
I think he was toying there between Eddie and Aya.
Yeah, Aya is incredibly good character for Stark. I think she's quite underrated sometimes. Just that ability to get some stealth in and come with a dupe, so that's your claim sorted out. But yeah, no, I know from having children, sometimes your hobby time and your time of love for hobby can disappear a little bit.
Yeah, so less time to play, but more time to actually do other bits. Oh, and here we see the tickler.
Yeah, it's definitely more time to kind of. I think that's when I actually started my original blog and podcast, and the Hound come out, was just to keep myself motivated because I had time to do that type of stuff. Yeah,
and I've also been quite lucky as well. We've got quite a good gaming scene in Bristol across some of the systems that I run events for, so with X-Wing and Conquest and Thrones. So we've managed to, between the 3 sets, crowdfund a GoPro and a load of equipment so we can start recording games from our local area as well across the different systems. So yeah, something to keep busy and out of trouble.
So Winterfell Steward out for. I think Ryan just spent a gold on that, and he probably shouldn't have. Yeah, Ryan. See how much he pays for the next card. Ooh. Yep, Ryan has spent a gold. He spent 2 gold. Oh no, of course he shouldn't say, because Famine's out. So the Famine costs 1 more for the Steward, then 1 more for Grey Wind.
Yeah.
That does make sense. So Grey Wind out, which currently has no targets to eat. Yeah, because you basically play everything, don't you?
Yeah, I'm one. I have what's called attention deficit. Ooh, shiny. Although less so miniatures now. I used to do a lot of miniature gaming, but I'm finding now as I have less time and with a baby less space because more of it's taken up with teddies and toys and comforters and prams and stuff. The card games are really good. Less time to play. No time to set up. I can easily chuck it in my bag, go to the local store after work, get a quick game in.
Yeah, that was. They said that's pretty much me about a year ago. The exact same feeling. When I got into Netrunner, and then once I bought all the Netrunner cards, I decided I need to get into another game. So Tyrion just came in for Intrigue, blocked by Catelyn again.
Pretty remembering the trigger this time.
The best bit I love, because you can't see everyone here, but there's about 10 people sitting around here, and there was that kind of ever so slight little kind of everyone held their breath every time an intrigue happened. It's like, is he going to remember? Is he going to remember?
And you also can't see it, but then you've got there's a row of tables just behind Kristian, and then there's Dave Bamford and a load of others playing first edition Highlander draft.
Yes.
Whilst the final's on, which I actually got introduced to on the Saturday. I managed to get a little bit of a break. Heard Bam's voice. I was like, "You're Dave Bamford, aren't you?" So we got talking, and then I was brutally introduced to first edition, having never played it, only joined at second. Did a draft. Had no idea what I was doing. Got absolutely smashed, but it's hilariously good fun.
I did watch a couple of their games, and there's like one, okay, I'm going to do this, which triggers this, which triggers this, which triggers this, which triggers this. I was like, that just blew my mind how many triggers there were, all from one action.
I think the interesting bit was because having got into second edition, you start hearing a lot of first edition talk as they were making the transition over. And having listened to, I think Banter was the first podcast I listened to, and hear them talking about Stalac Adventures and much and more. So I knew that much, and one of my opponents played it, to which I think I surprised Bamford, having said I knew nothing about 1st edition, yelling much and more, to which 20 people on the tables opposite on the Saturday playing Netrunner then bellowed much and more in response, which I actually found quite funny.
Yeah, it is weird sometimes when you're there. Cause there's a couple of Netrunner podcasts I listen to, and I'm like, I'm sure they're on that podcast. I'm sure I didn't have the guts to go and talk to them.
Yeah, and there's a fair crossover. Main one being Tagore, who was wonderfully fun. We spoke during the day because he was doing well at Netrunner on the Saturday. We kept coming up and seeing how he was doing. It's like, I might not be playing on Sunday if I make the cut. He subsequently made the cut. I was like, I'm going to cash my buy-in and see how it goes. He then scrubbed out in top 8 on Netrunner and came back going, I'm not going to use my buy. I'm going to come in with 3 losses. All right, cool, fair enough. He won all 3 games, and he went 3-3, joining in round 4. However, if he'd have actually kept his buy cashed in, he could have actually made the cut. But he wasn't paying attention to anything I said on Saturday and thought it was a top 8 instead of a top 16.
So, just to catch up there, so we had Tywin coming from military, which was fully blocked, and then Ryan used the ability of the Rob's host to move a power from Kristian's house card to Tywin. And then the Hound came in for a power.
Yeah, I think I remember this bit. So he came in for a power, and then subsequently wanted to ambush in the Burn Men after the challenge. At which point it was reminded that force reaction for Hound has to come into play.
Oh, that was
so he had to backtrack, put the Burn Men back into hand, and then get that card discarded to keep the Hound in play. Thankfully, he didn't take the Hound. He just took Littlefinger, and he was able to. He didn't take the Burn Men, so he could ambush him straight back in for that returning military claim.
Yeah, no, I do remember those. Because obviously, unlike most reactions, it's a force reaction, so you have to do it. I just remember talking about Tagore at Reading. He gave a guy a couple of warnings for that because he kept forgetting it. So the board is kind of. We're interested now. So it's 7-3 to Kristian. He is starting to push that advantage through.
Yeah, he's starting to push it. He's got some nasty characters, and if the tickler starts hitting stuff, it's really going to hurt Ryan.
So calling the banners and counting coppers. Ryan's choice to go first or second. See, Ryan does normally like to go second with this deck. Which does allow a bit of pressure on, but at the same time, he has the character base. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean Ryan's deck is all about flooding that board and just soaking up and using that renown to great effect.
What was it you said in the semi-final game?
Every time, so he was playing Darren in the final, and every time I looked around, the board was flooded, and then Darren did a board wipe, and then I came around 30 seconds later and the board was flooded again. So I think I remarked something along the lines of, your deck is a bit like a virus. No matter how many times you kill it, it just keeps multiplying and coming back.
So at this point, it looks like Ryan's played out his hand. So 2 copies of a dupe on Catelyn. We've got Winterfell Castle and Gates of Winterfell, and 2 gold left. Ryan has no cards in hand. Now the Winterfell Castle is actually kind of the secret weapon of the deck in a lot of ways. That +2 strength per character on every military and power challenge, as long as you have two unique characters in the challenge. It sounds really hard to get off, but the amount of unique characters Stark has is surprisingly easy.
Yeah.
And when you start,
they have access to a fair amount, and he's running a lot of them in 1s and 2s as well, I believe.
Yeah, once you've got King's Rob Host coming in for strength 9 by itself with like Fast Eddie, who's going to be strength 8 at that point. That takes a lot to stop that. So we had a dupe played on the Hound. I assume he probably wants to keep him on the table, but he must be really worried about March at this point then, because he keeps keeping that Hound around.
As well, depends what's in his. Let me try that again. It also depends what's in his hand, because he might have a few good cards, and although he wants to keep the hound in and not keep wasting money bouncing him back and forth. Just want to protect what's in there for that force reaction.
That's fair, and it's always cheap. A turn of just cheap claim soak.
Yeah.
Worst case. So it's a Maester Pycelle. Looks like we're going to sit on 3 cards. Looking at Kristian's playstyle, I think he's going to enjoy the Lannister box, because he seems to enjoy. I've watched a couple of his games. He seemed to enjoy sort of the intrigue phase and destroying the opponent's hand. Oh, God, we've got a massive military coming in here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the Lannister box purely because of I might actually get to play different Lannister decks. I suppose that's the one downside to the state of it at the moment is it's oh look, it's Lanni. 9 times out of 10 it's going to be Lanni Dragon, and you can pretty much guarantee that if you're playing against Lanni opponent, it's going to be the same stuff time and time again.
Yeah, it's good. You see quite a lot of Lanni Kraken these days as well, but it's definitely mostly Lanni Dragon. And it'll be interesting because you've got the Clansman theme coming in, which I'm really looking forward to trying out. And then you've got the intrigue heavy theme as well, of destroying your opponent's hand and getting benefits from doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I very briefly ran my own Lanni Dragon deck at one point, but it was purely with all the Dothrakis. Mm-hmm. So Kneel the Dothraki. So when you discard a character from hand, kneel the Dothraki character to kill that character.
Yeah, the Dothraki
just something a little bit different. Wasn't particularly good though. It didn't really work too well.
I did a similar one with a Greyjoy Dothraki, basically, so I could with all the pillage I could find. Yeah, it was fun, but it wasn't particularly good. Okay. So this is probably a good one time. You block with a hound now, and then you can take him for claim. Doesn't mean Tywin's gonna. I'm always in 2 minds when there's a big intimidate coming in. Is sometimes just don't block because you're basically going to block with a second character anyway because of intimidate.
Yeah, you've got the other factor as well. He's sat on 2 gold.
But there's no cards in hand, so they can't be put to the sword.
Yeah, good point.
And I think you could let Ryan have an unopposed power at this point. And intimidate. It's got to be Tywin, surely. Because he won by ridiculous amounts because of Winterfell Castle. Because what's it? Grey Wind's strength 6 at this point. The army's strength 10, I want to say.
Yeah, there goes Tywin.
Okay, so cheeky power challenge. My favourite kind of power challenge, one with a reducer. So I said blocks to gain a card.
Now, are we going to see 2 challenges or are we going to see 1? For Kristian.
Yes, sometimes the problem when you've got the tickler, you sometimes want to use him for his ability. So
well, he's not going to get a military icon off. He's not going to get military off.
Well, so this is an intrigue. That's interesting. So blocks opposes the intrigue. There's no cards in hand anyway. Probably should have done the power. And gets the Blackfish from the Gates of Winterfell. Yeah, if I was Kristian, I don't think I'd have done intrigue, because unless you really need that money. And if you really need the money, you should just use the tickler. Another copy of the Birdman coming in from military. Blooming Birdman. Unopposed with the Steward taking his claim. Looks like Ryan's not too bothered about a march then. Oh. Okay. We're almost at the halfway point, Liam.
Spoiler alert, this was a long game to a long day. If anyone's got to this point and just hasn't skipped to the last 10 minutes, I commend you.
Yeah. So the tickler hit Jon Snow there, which makes no difference. And what's it? I think Kristian took dominance. Yes, he did.
10, yeah.
So that is now 8-4. Kristian.
Yep.
Ready? Not yet.
So March.
Yeah, that ticked that. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say March into Wardens of the West.
Ooh.
So I think Rowan's about to go for a walk. Yeah.
Yeah, with Caitlin still on the board, Sirio's too important to keep around.
And you're not taking the host.
No, definitely not.
This is one of the things that makes me laugh here, by the way. So in the new FFG rules, it talks about third-party tokens, and they can't be so big that they block the text on cards for power tokens. But the
FFG ones are the biggest ones around.
Yeah, they're massive. Once Ryan gets like 2 more power, it's going to start covering the text box. It's just...
They are nice, but they are ginormous.
I guess I should do a little shout out. I've been using a lot of getting token mana from Germany to do mine. These are custom ones, and they're lovely, like little brass bottoms and glass.
Yeah, they're very nice. So I've got a load of his, and I've also got the Dracula's token ones as well.
Yeah, I've got his too.
They did some very nice glass bead ones.
They're unfortunately for us at the moment, I find token mana is just a little bit cheaper because he's not from America, and the pound is doing slightly better against the euro than the dollar.
To be fair, the pound is doing crap against everything.
It's not a good time to be importing stuff. So, we have. We're going to do this. Cersei out. Again, Ryan's basically got no hand anyway, so she's a little bit late to the party.
5 on Fealty.
And Blackfish comes out, which is all of Ryan's money.
Any actions?
So it's actually an interesting time that Ryan flipped this plot. I don't know if he did it just for the gold, but he hasn't got that many characters to move in and out of the challenges.
I would imagine it would have been purely for the gold. He knows he's got Blackfish in hand. He doesn't have any other cards. Kristian's already got a bit of a better board state. Ryan, of course, not running Wildfire.
No resets at all.
So he has no reset. So with Ryan's deck, he needs to keep that momentum going and keep being able to chuck out stuff. So if he goes for a lower gold plot, there is that potential that he gets that dud draw for those 2 cards, and he can't put anything. And at that point, he's getting further onto the back foot. So
I'm not 100% sure he has any lower plots, gold plots though than 5. I think I remember talking to him afterwards. He didn't want to use trading because he didn't want to fund Tywin. Sorry, I think I remember correctly. So Winterfell itself, unfortunately, lost to intrigue claim. So if he had done trading, he could have got that out, and that could have made a bit of a difference.
Okay. Quick defense.
But right. Oh, 10 out of 10 for thinking from these guys.
Sorry.
yeah, I am absolutely. I was sat here watching, trying to explain what was going on to Alec and Alex from Estevium, and I was struggling to focus at that point. So God knows how these guys were doing it when they've been concentrating all day.
Have you seen the picture of Ryan's board state from the semi-final Blackwater?
Yes, it looked like he's just taken the box and just thrown it on the table.
Yes.
It's horrific.
Stark on Stark with about 12 characters at least on each side, and they'd sit there for about 5 minutes, do the maths, work out they could win a power challenge, go in for about 40,
Yeah.
and then the other guy would go, okay, I'll block with this one character. Have the power, and then I'll come back for an unopposed. It was a crazy game.
Thankfully, this isn't as ridiculous. However, with Valor coming out in the
2 packs time.
in 2 packs time, board states like this are going to be very, very different.
Yeah. So I'm still not 100% sure. I have a horrible feeling my Greyjoy is going to be sticking with Wildfire. I don't know. That might be the kind of untested mind. Untested
Word on
mind.
my green.
So Ryan here uses Gates Winfield to get a Rob Star. The intrigue challenge being out of the way. I think Ryan also sometimes does that as a bit of to give him kind of while he's trying to think about doing challenges. Kind of, I'll just do this. I'm going to do it anyway. It gives me a bit of a few seconds to rethink about my plan.
Yeah, it also helps him plan for next turn as well.
Yeah,
so particularly because he has this ability to just smash out characters and recover so quickly. Having something that a guaranteed for next turn is always going to help.
It's also quite good for the whole. Right, what am I going to take for claim? Well, let's see what I'm going to draw next turn. I've got another character in hand. I can now think about claim a bit. I can now think about the claim more. I can afford to lose this character because I've got another copy of Rob coming on, for example. I'd take Rob's dupe because it's Rob's second dupe.
Okay.
That type of stuff. So he fully blocks there. The Blackfish taking a power.
See, the bit I find intriguing is why Ryan keeps putting so with the host and being able to move that power. Why he keeps putting it on Tywin?
Well, it has to be a character that was attacking in the challenge, and I guess from Ryan's point of view, at some point he may be able to kill Tywin. Very unlikely, because Ryan's not doing a kill deck. So I think the idea is he can just keep if he keeps it on Tywin, then so there's Tywin might die, I guess. But yeah, it does seem. I can understand putting it on a Chud or something. So Syrio coming in for military, presumably selfing the Hound. Oh, so we also had a power challenge come in from Icel, which went unopposed, but again Ryan has no power on his house card. That is actually one thing I think so far has been quite a big deal. The fact that Ryan's had a fair bit number of power, but not much on his house card. So Kristian's power challenges have been pretty wasteful.
Yeah, having it all on the characters will save you from that, but then it's a bit more of a risk.
And the tickler ends up tickling a copy of Osher. But yeah, oh, is that who won dominance? I guess it must be because Ryan's just gained the power. We can't have won dominance. The Hound was out. Oh, unopposed military, right? So again, I wonder if Kristian's letting that go unopposed just so he can actually got something to claim next turn. Kristian discarded a foot to the sword, so either he's got a couple in hand and he's just struggling to use them.
Yeah, I think I think he's holding on to that for quite a while.
Second foot to the sword.
With a continuous Syrio into Caitlyn just to stop that.
Yeah. The other one interesting there is he drops the Lannisport merchant. I think it's the merchant, whatever the reducer is called. Which he could have got out last turn because he played a character. And that would have been then quite useful for claim. Very interesting that he
Last plot. How far is it?
he chose to not do
I'll
that.
give you any more gold.
Again, probably might have been tired and not thought about it. So we're on to plot 7, and we have trading into confiscation.
Myself.
Confiscation misses everything, both sides.
This guy an attachment. No attachments in play. 3 gold.
Ooh, really on turn 7 already. Oh.
So now we are about an hour into this.
I know. Oh.
So it's about 10:15 at this point.
Yeah, I think this is the point where I might just text my wife saying, yeah, I don't think I will be home by midnight.
So,
Yeah, and I kind of didn't help by dragging you all to Wetherspoons afterwards.
Oh, it was fine.
In fairness, I did buy you a cup of tea after in there.
Yeah, because I don't have coffee, you weirdos.
Oh, that Wetherspoons was the worst. It really was. We don't have this. We don't have this. We don't have this. And why are you open?
Yeah, just yeah. You're open. Why are you open on a Sunday night? You don't have any of this. So Jamie put out there. He's left the King's Road out, which is to not use the King's Road. So the only reset either of them are playing is 1 copy of First Snow, which right now wouldn't really affect either board state. So we have a Winterfell Stewart played out, another dupe on Cat, so she's not going anywhere anytime soon. A River Run Minstrel, who's going to give a power to the Blackfish. Ryan actually won a game earlier in the tournament by and Rob's out. But Ryan actually won a game in the tournament being at 14 power at marshalling, and then marshalled a River Run Minstrel and gave it a power.
Nice. Didn't you also have another one where you managed to get all 3 out at once?
Yes, that was once that was against Wedge, I want to say. But Ryan was already ridiculously far ahead anyway at that point. Wedge had pretty much given up. And then to see the Blackfish go from 1 power to 4 in one marshalling phase, I think kind of just crushed him. So we've got injury coming from Tywin. That's interesting. I imagine that's just to make sure he gains the renowned. Because this is the one situation, well, not the one, but this is the situation we're getting now where actually trying to win a power challenge against Ryan becomes really hard.
Yeah, and especially a military one as well.
So intrigue is pretty much the only challenge you can guarantee you're going to win. So just keep chucking away, getting that 1 extra power.
That slow creep. So Tywin's now on 4.
Yeah, although 2 of those have been given to him by Ryan.
Yeah. He's also sat on at least 5. I can't quite see the rest of his card.
But I think that's... I think Ryan said that's why she lost him at Blackwater, is the fact that he played against the Lanni Kraken deck and he just kept losing the intrigue challenge every turn, pretty much unopposed. So his opponent just got a power every turn, plus all the other shenanigans he was doing. You've also got to be careful here as Kristian, because you're very tempted just to go, I might as well do the military with Jamie, but actually you're going to be feeding into Ryan's renowned if you do that.
Swing. Jamie military.
Because he could quite happily defend with the Blackfish and Rob, or the Blackfish and someone else, and gain 2 power from it. Actually, this is actually where King's Rob's Warhost could come in. So if he does a military now with the King's Rob's Warhost and the Blackfish in attack, then he can move a power from Kristian onto the Blackfish, and Blackfish renowned would turn Blackfish on. The Tully's not defending to not needing to attack.
Hmm.
So Ryan, just trying to think what he's going to do here for this defence. Worst case, he could just defend with Rob, let the steward die, and then stand everyone up anyway.
What's the house?
That Rob is so good.
2, 4, 5.
He is very nice.
It's like they're really struggling to think.
It's about this moment where Ryan's really starting to flag.
You could see him. He kind of perked up by the beginning of the game, and then definitely about halfway through, towards the kind of start of the second third, he definitely you could definitely see the fatigue of the day starting to affect him.
Yeah, I think from talking to Ryan, that's the one thing about his deck, is that it's a real thinking deck, and if you're tired or not concentrating enough, it can be a real headache.
It's also not generally a deck that wins fast, so you don't tend to get the breaks between rounds as much as the other decks.
Yeah.
So it's no Greyjoy, you know. You're not looking at 20 minutes. If you haven't won in 20 minutes, you might as well pack your cards up. So defends with Rob, and he's trying to think about the Blackfish. Said about a way of being able to stand everyone. Oh, he's going to do the Blackfish as well. Okay. I was going to say about way standing. I wonder if he should have left the Blackfish for the attack. But fair enough. Gains in 2 and out. So I can't imagine there's any way of Kristian getting his strength up to 9 to win.
Right, there we go.
So that puts Ryan on 9 and Kristian's on, I think, 11 at this point. Can't quite see his house card. And this, I assume, will be a power challenge. Which Ryan's probably going to chub block. Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm. So, 2-1. First. Okay. All 3 challenges. Thanks for me.
And then Ryan does a big military.
No, sorry.
Stealthing Jamie Bolswit. Yeah.
I think Kristian's just trying to work out if he's got anything he can chuck in right now to help this situation out.
I guess it's one of the things I keep thinking about is obviously Kristian does have shenanigans, doesn't he? He's not triggered his. Does he have to win an intrigue by 5 or more?
I will.
I believe so. Yeah, the streets ones are 5 or more. But he's also Caitlin also blocked the intrigue challenge.
That was it. Yes. Of course. So I think Kristian just treacheryed Kingsrod's host there. So the whole idea of sending him in with the Blackfish wouldn't have worked anyway. And the Hound's taken his claim. Interesting.
I'm so annoyed if it hits someone massive.
I would have said I would have taken the Tickler myself, but. And looks like another River Run Minstrel, I want to say.
I think as well, seeing there as Kristian letting Ryan pick up the card from his ability from that previous challenge.
Oh yes, for the Blackfish. I always forget that if you win a challenge, the Blackfish gets draw a card. Always forget that. Okay.
Guess you get done.
So Kristian takes dominance, and the Tickler takes out the Blackfish.
Outstanding.
Oof. That is absolutely horrible for Ryan.
That is, because it's just at that point where if the Blackfish just needed one more power, I think he'd just drawn a River and Minstrel as well, so he could have got one more power on Marshalling, and then the Blackfish and Catelyn, he could have given Catelyn military, and they could have gone in for 2 challenges each.
Yeah.
The Blackfish is getting power from that. He could have sent King's Rob the Warhost in with the military as well, and Rob with the power, and that would have been pretty much 2 unopposed, well, not unopposed, but almost unopposable challenges. You can't stop them, and that was a massive power gain.
That was a massive blow for Ryan.
That was, and you can't quite see it on camera, but I can tell you, right, you could see it on Ryan's face. Ryan was absolutely gutted at that point.
I think at that point, Ryan was just thinking back to Blackwater. Like, I can't finish second again.
Yep.
You know, I think he takes a moment during this turn just to compose, and he's still got a good ball presence. You know, even with the Blackfish gone, he's still in an all right position. He's quite low on power, but he's got the ability to get that back up again.
And I think he also needs to remind himself, because I've seen him play this deck, a lot of times now, and quite often he is losing it halfway through the game, and he is quite low on power, and then he just gets this board presence up, which the opponent just can't get any power off Ryan, and that's when he just strangles the hold of the game, and that's it. So I think he's just reminding himself he's got most of the key players he needs out. He just
Eddie's back in discard again, so he's still got the ability to bring him back out.
Yeah. So it was just that annoyance that he was set up for the next turn to pretty much just, I wouldn't say win the game, but it was going to be hard for Kristian at that point, and then to lose the Blackfish like that, especially with a war plot out, so the King's Rob Warhost could have got 2 power by itself.
Yeah, the tickler is quite nasty. I still remember the Bristol Store Championship, which Ryan won. We had another Ryan Bristol local, and they were both looking to get into the top cut. Only one of them was going to get in through their strength of schedule. They'd all finished their games, and it was all reliant on the top table. And it was a Lanni v Tyrell. Time had been called. I think the Tyrell player had Randy out with 5 power on him. Lanni player was just sat on 10. They'd gone through to dominance, and it was just like, oh, sod it, tickler. Got nothing to lose, do tickler. Flips up Randy. Lanni player then gets the 10-9 win as opposed to the 14-10 loss, and it sent Ryan Wood through to the cut into the Ryan Kelly. Which for a spectator is good to watch, but when you're sat there and you're in the receiving end of that tickler at the pivotal moment, to be hit by variance like that is horrible.
It's kind of almost like the last day of a season. Your team needs to stay up. You've done your bit. You just need another team to do their bit, and they're winning. And in the last seconds they lose, and you get you go out. You're knocked out.
But as I was saying earlier on, it's one of those things with tickler is that so many times it doesn't go off. But when that one time it goes off, it bloody hurts, and you remember it, and so that's what sticks in your head.
I think it also helps the ticklers a bit better than Gregor, because obviously he can hit any card that's on the table, not just a character.
Yes.
Although yes, with to Gregor you're killing it. So obviously if your opponent's got like an arbor out and you tickle the arbor, if that makes sense. And they lose their gold, that's massive. Whereas obviously to Gregor will just go, oh well, nothing I can do there. So we've got Roderick out, and this is one of the other things I love with Ryan's deck is Roderick was really popular for about a month, maybe not even that, until the start box hit, and then he kind of disappeared. But in Ryan's deck, when if you had the Blackfish out, you could chuck him in there. You'd be looking sort of like drawing 4 cards from one military, 5 cards from one military. And again, he's just another really good body in Ryan's deck.
So this was the time of the evening when both players were completely out of it, and you will be seeing a lot of long pauses in between moves from both players. I think Ryan was at this point was struggling to stay awake, as were you, Ben.
Yeah, unfortunately, I still had a 3-hour drive to get home with Ryan, and to get Ryan and Kevin safely back in the car. That's one of the scariest drives I've ever had, I think. So Jamie came in for an injury. That's interesting. Probably because he thinks he can't win a military at this point. The thing is, coming an injury, you've got to put you on to do a Tywin. Guarantee that one extra power. Oh, actually, sorry, ignore me, because also you got Wardens of the West out, so Ryan could just move any character in if he really wants to defend his hand. That's 2 claim, and that's a River and Minstrel. Didn't catch the other card. It's actually an interesting choice here from Kristian. So Ryan's board state is pretty strong. He's going to, as we've already talked about, he's going to struggle to get through a power or a military challenge. And yet he flipped a 2 claim pot with very little gold. I could understand that if you're coming in with Cersei and you've got like trial by combat or something. This is just Kristian asking if the character's stealthed, if they can come in with Wardens of the North. And the answer is yes, you can.
That is a lovely little card, that Wardens of the North.
It was the final.
I've been on the receiving end of it numerous times.
It was the final nail in the coffin of the Winterfell Steward, not Steward, the Colonel Master, though, because obviously the whole kind of moving, you having to have dire walls to move stuff in. Once that plot came out, you didn't really. That seemed a lot less useful.
Yeah, and it opens up so many tricks as well. Even having all your characters knelt out still doesn't really help the situation. I remember getting an absolute turnaround smash at a local event where they had the North. Everything was knelt out, with the exception of Greywind. So Greywind eats a steward. Everyone stands, and then he has the opportunity to come in for this monster renown block to win the game.
The other one as well is you can. You can do stuff like, I think you're going to put me to the sword, so I'll defend with Tumblestone Knight, and I'll just bring Catelyn into the challenge. No put to the sword anymore.
Yeah, not needing to have the icon just makes it incredibly powerful. But it's only limit 2.
Yeah, but quite often, unless you've got like Ryan's board state, limit 2 is enough. So Ryan's always just double checking the maths to make sure. Just going through all the variables. So if you do Widow's Wail, it'll be this much strength, and if this happens, it'll be this much strength. And as Liam said earlier, if you have made it this far, thank you very much for the support.
We commend you.
If you do want to watch any of the other games from Nationals, I also promise they're a lot shorter. This will be in a playlist. This is one of 10 games from Nationals. So yeah, you can just click at the start of there and say the rest are a lot shorter. I promise.
If you have made it this far through the video, I'm sure Ben will put a phone number in the description of which you can call. They will be able to provide you with some help.
Yeah.
If you've been affected by the scenes of today's final, please call.
I'm right to say this is a power challenge. So Ryan's going all this out to defend. He doesn't even need power on his house card to be taken.
21.
So I don't know if he just really doesn't want Tywin to get the renowned.
+6.
Well, I suppose because Kristian's currently I think on 13 power. So actually that does make sense actually. He just really doesn't want Kristian to get any more.
Win? Yep.
So, Power Challenge is won by Ryan. Oh.
Sweet. Any other challenges? No other challenges. See if particular works.
And just the tickler to go.
Here's my man.
We do military stealth in the tickler, I assume. Well, obviously, Kristian's got enough enough gold there to pull off any number of tricks. It's taken 4 gold. I hope it's not the helm. The helm's dead.
No, I haven't got action.
Oh. Game, you're right. We should have done this late tonight and done it as a drinking game.
We should have. I have a very nice bottle of rum downstairs, which I think would have gone down very well for this.
Every time a character is killed, take a swig.
Every time Ryan counts military strength, take a swig.
I think it was my favourite one is when every time Ryan we just stealthy, just like knocks one of the opponent's cards to one side.
So yes, that was the end of the post for the military, and that dupes for Jamie going.
We've got we're gonna have an unopposed power coming in from the steward, which I always say is my favourite kind of power. Oh, sorry guys, I'd say here. So I had to change camera at this point, I should say, and unfortunately my second camera, the lens wasn't quite set up properly for this. This will only last for about a minute or so, so I do apologise about the lighting change. But the battery was about to run out on the other camera.
At least we can now see the house card. So he is at 13 power.
Yes, he was. He's now on. He's now on 12 because he lost. This is I was thinking. So we've had an assassin come in to oppose the intrigue, and Ryan took a dupe off Catelyn for that. And another copy of the mountain's gone, but he's dead already. I do apologise, but I just worried the battery was going to die, so I thought it was best just to kind of go in. I didn't really have time to set up the other camera properly with the lighting, so that's why it's a little bit brighter. It's my backup camera, so I haven't really done much of it recently. Kristian got dominant, so he is currently sitting on 13 power. So Ryan's, I have no idea, because Ryan's taken to white and all the cards have gone white.
I think Ryan was on about 6 or 7 power here.
I think it's a little bit more, because he just had 2 unopposed challenges. We'll find out in a second when the new camera comes back, or the old camera comes back even. Yeah, but after Reading, I was a bit more careful with my battery. Not Reading, Bristol. I'm a bit more careful how I use my batteries.
And saving games from the cut as well.
That's freaking gutted about that. And here we go. So we're back. So Ryan's flipped Calm of Westeros and picked Power. We're into counting coppers. Ryan is on 9 power. So it's 13-9.
Yep. Full gold.
And this time the camera's set up so we can see Kristian's house card. Yeah. I would say in my defence, Kristian's house card was originally on the player map when we started. I'm pretty sure he moved it when he did a Fealty. Nil. So we didn't miss too much while I was swapping cameras, fortunately. So we had Tyrion, Dupe and Tyrion, Dupe and Tywin as well. I don't think that's new. So what do you think of Queen's Assassin? So it's a card that we're starting to see a little bit more again.
It's one of those situational ones, isn't it? I've still not seen it very much in play. I think this is the first time I've seen it in a good few months.
I think for me, you need to be playing some sort of reset like Wildfire or possibly obviously in a few months with Valor. Because obviously it's coming in and killing a character, that's all well and good, but when Ryan's current board state, he doesn't care. He's got Hodor join the table.
Yeah, however, in fairness to Ryan, though, Ryan's deck doesn't really care about a lot of the things that affect the current meta.
Yeah. I keep wanting to play with my Greyjoy deck, but I just worry that I'm going to get Balon out and go, so what's the strength of everything? They're like, this one's 10 at the moment if I put it into a power challenge? Yeah, okay. You can have that. So Bran and Hodor Pop have come to join the party.
Yeah, and Ryan's board is now really starting to swell. Really helped by the fact that he knows that Kristian, so having cycled through all the plots, knows that Kristian has no board reset, so he can spam them out. And once Ryan's deck gets into this position, it's a real swing in Ryan's favour. I mean, given that massive setback he had earlier on with the tickler hitting Blackfish, he's got enough on the board now to soak up what Kristian does. So yeah, Feddy's Kristian can do that intrigue and gain one. However, Ryan is in that better position to come out with more power.
And Ryan each turn, as long as he wins the power challenge, he takes up one effectively back. Kristian can't even win a power challenge this turn and gain anything from it.
2 green.
So Green Assassins come in for an intrigue. Ryan. It's only strength 2 on Green Assassin, isn't it?
2, 3, 4, 5.
But Ryan's just going to make sure there's no shenanigans whatsoever. It also makes me how fast Ryan gets through his deck in this. His draw piles always down. He gets through a number of cards.
Anything else? Defended.
When you think there's not actually that many triggers from to draw cards, well, there's Roderick at the moment.
Makes sense.
I'm just getting flashbacks now to a bad drive home.
Still hit Rob. So good.
I would say there's one part of the journey where I think we got this like junction, and it just took me about 10 seconds to work out what was actually happening with it because I was just struggling so much by that point. Fortunately, that was just outside Southampton, so it wasn't much further to go for me. But yeah, that was not a pleasant drive.
I'm assuming that Ryan and Kevin slept the entire way back as well.
Pretty much, even though I said one of them had to stay awake the whole time to talk to me. In all fairness, it was about 2:30 in the morning by the time we got to Southampton. I wasn't really blaming them. They just had to put up me putting the radio on and singing instead, which is probably just as bad as staying up for 24 hours.
So I can't remember. Is there a power on Jamie?
I don't believe so.
So it's 13 at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think Jamie has won Jamie's not won a military yet. I don't think. No. Although technically Kristian should have 1 power on Tywin, so he should be on 14.
Yeah.
At least one he forgot. So 1 intrigue challenge here could have won the game. Yeah, probably. So I think Ryan has that many intrigue icons out.
Yeah, just Caitlin and the Minstrel.
Yeah, but it happens. It's one of those things in this game. There's a lot of triggers to remember. And I know sometimes when I've done a military and all I've cared about is put to the sword, I've forgotten pretty much every other trigger.
So Ryan protecting himself there with Calm. So stops Kristian getting to that 14.
Just stops the unopposed. That's all he really cares about. So we got a military of a lot, but not enough, surely. But I guess you've got to try something at this point, haven't you? 2, 4, 6, 12, 17 strength military. Obviously with the option of 2 renowned if Ryan does lose it. So Ryan has got to probably make sure he defends this. So with Winterfell Castle, that's going to be 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 military, those three.
12.
Yeah.
Which, see, Winterfell Castle is bonkers.
I win? Yeah.
Well, especially in this deck, it's just absolutely bonkers.
It is.
Ryan has to win that, because with the double renown, it's going to be game over.
Yeah, that's the thing. He had to win it, but I mean, he probably could have won it anyway, because he could have just defended with the what's it, the King Rob's Warhost.
Military.
That's what I'm talking about there, just chucking Jamie to one side. Just like,
He's so violent.
get off the board.
Try that in Bristol, Ryan. You're getting a warning, mate.
And he's treacherying the reaction again. So that hurts Ryan, because this is basically Ryan going in for a power and a military challenge in one go. So just knocking out just knocking out that military, just knocking out that any chance that military happening is quite. Also the power gain up it does hurt Ryan. But we've got a 4 strength power coming in from Bran and the Riverrun Minstrel, with only Cersei left with a power icon. So that's now Kristian's going to win dominance. 32, 9. So that'll be the 13 to. What's Ryan on now? 1, 2, 3. So Ryan's on 12, 13, 12. So Ryan's really come back into this, considering not that long ago it was.
Gates?
What was it about? It was 13-5 or 13-6, I want to say it was.
Yeah, it was a very, very slow one. However, with Kristian having to be one up, it's. Don't think Kristian managed to get to 14 at any point, but.
No.
Which I think is probably a good thing, because that would have been a horrible one to reflect back on. And
Tickler Ledge took out the gates of Winterfell, but at this point that's a bit too little too late, because the gates has done its job and kept Ryan's hand full up. Or at least fuller than nothing. So we've got another plot. So we're calling the banner into first snow. Doesn't allow Kristian to replay that Queen's Assassin though. Ryan does lose a few cards, but all in all, I think Ryan's probably going to come out better from this first snow.
Still my choice, I believe.
Yeah, it's not really going to impact Ryan too much, because he's doesn't have a whole lot. He's going to lose Hodor and 2 stewards.
No, Hodor, Steward, and Bran, but obviously Bran and Hodor both still have dupes left to find. So if Ryan was to draw into them now, then they could both stay out.
If anything, that kind of leaves Kristian's board a bit thin on the ground now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think this actually hurts Kristian more than Ryan. Now Ryan, I'm assuming Ryan's going to make himself go first. Gets the choice.
Yeah, he only needs 3 power left.
Yeah.
Depending on what Kristian draws, Ryan can do this in one challenge.
One military, and this could all be over. That's a lot of gold to pay out anything he draws.
Things like, does Kristian have any more tricks left? I mean, Hound's dead, Mountain's dead.
Well, consider this is meant to be a jumpers deck. We're not seeing much jumping. Cool. So we've got a loyal character. Oh, Winterfell, not a character, but Winterfell itself. But again, now everyone's +1 strength again. We've got a Riverrun Minstrel, so that's another power gained.
Minstrel, trigger.
Put on Cat. And that leaves him with 2 gold, which he can't do anything with. But now he just needs 2 power. Oh, he just puts dupes on the castles. On the location. So Ryan now just needs 2 power. Now, I'll say this is one of the situations where you look at it and think you should win it, but I had this at game 2 where all I needed was 2 power. I put the Mountain and Jamie into a military thinking there's nothing my opponent could do. But he's Baratheon and he played In the Name of My King and stopped the challenge.
You're right. Yep.
So, yeah. It's one of the situations where it looks like it's all over. Doesn't mean it is all over.
Yeah, I mean, from this situation, I mean, it's not looking good for Kristian. I mean, he's still got Syria out, so Kaelin can come in with stealth. So that's Jamie and Tyrion stealth right off the bat.
Assuming you do a power challenge as well, just to, yeah, because then you get the renowned on Rob and you get the claim of 1. So that's the 2 power you need. And the only power icons they have on there is Cersei. Oh, they've got 3 power icons, but Tyrion's not enough to defend that. He's the only one who can.
Any actions?
And you go for a military and you use winter. And there's a winter plot out, so they can still use treachery. I think Ryan just think. This is the other one I was thinking about watching this back. Kristian has a lot of money. I'm surprised he's not played. What's the card I thought he could play? The Things I Do for Love. Because he sat on a lot of golden points. He could have pretty much knocked back any character to Ryan's hand.
Hmm.
And that could have been big. So I think Ryan's just looking at the power challenge. So we've got Catelyn. Catelyn's getting stealth. Ryan seems to be treachery. It is not. Catelyn comes in, Rob comes in, Roderick comes in. That's strength 5, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 strength power challenge from 3 characters.
See, that just hurt your head, and that was only 1 challenge. How do you think Ryan feels?
Oh, tell me about it. After Ryan won Blackwater. I played against this deck enough on Octagon for about a week. Well, not once. I came second in Blackwater. It was everywhere. So Kristian just saying, is there anything he can do? The good thing here is Ryan has left himself an out, so he can always do the military challenge to gain another power that way. If there was any shenanigans, there isn't, and that is game. And Ryan is the UK national champion.
He is no longer the bridesmaid.
So yeah, man, that was a slog, and that was one hell of a comeback.
Yes. He was looking very dejected when that Blackfish went down, and all it needed was Tickler to hit a few more, and it could have been drastically different. Or Tickler doesn't hit anything, this game could have been over a lot sooner. But it was a very it was a good back and forth game, if not very long, after a very, very long, tiring day. So that ended up 15 hours of Thrones play.
Yeah. That was a long one, but yeah, I thought he had lost it after that Blackfish had disappeared. I thought that was game.
Yeah, I mean he did very very well to just take a second to compose and get his head back in the game.
He certainly did. So yeah, well guys, thanks very much for watching. Liam, thank you very much for coming on and commentating.
That's okay. It's been emotional.
It was emotional that day. And don't forget, you can just check out Liam's podcast, The Void Pirates, if you are even vaguely interested in Conquest. I'm not particularly good at Conquest, and I get it. So
I'm not particularly good at Conquest, and I host it.
And guys, I'm sure we'll have some more Thrones coverage for you very, very soon. Thanks very much for watching.